Good morning. In this video, I want to talk about making tough decisions. Now, whether you're a founder, a sales leader, a salesperson, as you continue to rise and grow either through your organization or as you're building your organization, one of the inevitable variables is the fact that you're going to need to make tough and difficult decisions. You're sometimes going to need to make decisions that aren't necessarily popular either. And your ability to get comfortable doing that can be one of the really important factors to actually enable your success. Now, often not enough time is spent actually truly understanding what it takes to make an effective decision. And most people are either geared or driven by emotion or logic. And in many cases, just by virtue of human nature, people are driven by their emotion and they spend less time comparing their emotion against logic. And this is something that I always encourage leaders to do, founders to do, and beyond, is whenever you have a perceived tough decision to make, take a second to understand what your emotions are telling you to do, right? It might be a hire fire situation, for example, and emotively you want to retain that person in the organization, but in reality, all of the data says otherwise. So what you never really want to do is make a decision based on either logic alone or emotion alone. There's a place actually to have both of these factors to play some kind of role. And depending on the type of leader that you are, you may have more of a propensity to make logical based decisions or to make emotive based decisions. But you always want to cross-reference one against the other. So generally, for example, I'm more of a logical and a data-based leader. So with that said, I will typically look and seek to understand what does the data tell me, what does the logic tell me, and then I'll cross-reference that against my emotion, which you could argue is your gut really and your instinct. And you've then got to make a sensible decision about which one should take precedence, but you should have a bias towards one or the other subject to the type of leader that you are. So if I find myself that there's a little bit of a clash or a bit of friction between the two, I will generally side with the logic, because ultimately that's the type of leader that I found myself in, and I've seen that I've had more success actually leading with logic than I have necessarily instinct. But it doesn't mean that I'll make a decision only based on logic. I'll still cross-reference with my emotion, and sometimes there's scenarios actually where your gut and your instinct feels so strong and so powerful that it will actually override. And I've been in situations before where the data and the logic actually says that a particular person shouldn't be in an organization, but actually my instinct, my gut, my intuition and years of experience have told me actually they have the attributes to make it happen. And so you've got to find that balance for yourself and then be able to go out there and make effective decisions, stand by them, learn from them, and then grow from them. One of the worst things you can do is actually have indecision, which is when you're sitting on the fence. You're not actually able to commit to the left or to the right. And actually that can create many more problems and much more friction, because you're then just in this state of nothingness. And that's often a lot worse than actually making a call, committing to it. If it hasn't panned out the right way, you can always learn from it, grow from it, pivot, and then become better the next day. I hope this video has been helpful in some way. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.